Hello everybody, welcome back to another video with Lim Reviews. Now, I'm sure all of you guys are aware that the hottest phone of 2022 has just landed, and by that I am actually referring to the brand new POCO F4. By the time you watch today's video, I would have actually been using this device here for slightly more than a week. So definitely I have a lot of user experience to share with you guys. And of course, in today's review of the POCO F4, I'm also going to bring up my POCO F3 that I have here for almost a year now and talk a little bit about what's really different, the kind of upgrades that we are having, and whether it is worth the additional budget to actually change to the POCO F4. We're going to talk all about that today in this video. Now, before we begin, of course, if you could just support the channel by dropping a like and subbing to the channel, that will be super much appreciated. And with that said, let us jump into the video right away. Alright, so first things first, we have to address the price of this brand new POCO F4. Well, we do have two options going on here in Malaysia. It starts with the 6 Plus 128 and we also have the 8 Plus 256. Now the base model goes for RM1599 and the higher end model goes for RM1699. So it's just a 100 ringgit price different. However, if we just talk about price, I want to rewind back and talk a bit about the POCO F3 when it launched. Now the base model of the F4 is now 200 ringgit more expensive than the F3. So right off the bat, you know that the entry point to getting a POCO F4 is going to be much higher than that of the POCO F3. Apart from that, I'm sure a lot of you guys might also be aware that POCO has been throwing out amazing deals for the POCO F3, and the last price that we got for the F3, at least here in Malaysia, is only RM999, guys. That is a crazy price point, so that makes the POCO F4 here 600 ringgit more expensive than the POCO F3 at that flash sale price. Alright, so having said all that, the bottom line is that it is slightly more expensive for the POCO F4. So let's find out now whether it's actually worth it, what are the differences, and who this device is actually for. Okay, so before we talk about the differences, I want to go through a couple of similarities that the F4 has with the F3 from last year. The first one here is that, of course, we are still having that same awesome display at the front. Now that is a 6.67-inch 1080p AMOLED panel. It is a Samsung E4 panel. That means it's actually quite good. We have a 120Hz refresh rate. We have a very high brightness level. So everything is going well here in terms of the display. It's the exact same panel from the F3. So it is as good as the one as before. Now, what else is the same? Well, that is actually found inside in terms of the processor. So the POCO F4 and the POCO F3 has the same Snapdragon 870. And if you are familiar with the Snapdragon 870, you will know that this is actually a very power efficient processor. Now, when I mentioned about the Snapdragon 870 to a couple of my friends, some of them are actually asking me like, why after 14 months, more than a year, is POCO still using the same processor on the F4? Well, this got me thinking a little bit. If you take a look at the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1, that is actually on more expensive devices. So I believe that if POCO used the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 in the F4, the price would need to be bumped up furthermore. And again, if you look at Snapdragon 888 or 888 Plus, I don't think that's really happening because it's just going to cause a lot of heat to the device itself. And then I also thought, why not go with the Dimensity 8100, because that's actually a very, very power efficient processor. But they actually put that in the POCO X4 GT, which I have already done a video. I'll put a link down below. So if you just look at all the options out there, I would say that the Snapdragon 870 would still be the best fit for the POCO F4. Now, in terms of performance, just like the POCO F3, you're going to get great performance, not just in terms of day-to-day use. Gaming is also still very good to use here, especially if you are playing Genshin Impact a lot like myself. The device is able to maintain a very stable frame rate, and the temperatures do not go as high as other processors out there. So I would still say that no change is also quite good here on the F4. Alright, so that's basically what's same, but what's actually different on the POCO F4 then? Well, the main change here is actually in terms of the camera at the back. Now, the camera has always been the POCO F3's weakest point. Like whenever people talk about the POCO F3, the main thing that they always complain about is the camera, that they find it not great enough. So POCO actually fixed that in the F4, and now we have this 64 megapixel main sensor that comes with OIS. You have, unfortunately, the same 8 megapixel ultra wide and a 2 megapixel macro lens. Well, let's talk a bit about that main sensor, because how big of a difference has it improved over the F3? Well, I took a lot of photos here side by side and I'm going to show it to you guys so you can see the difference. Based on daylight shots alone, I can see that the F4 is slightly improved in terms of the amount of detail it's able to get. Apart from that, you also notice that it's slightly brighter and the shadows are more visible on the POCO F4 now. So overall, you're just getting a better kind of image on the F4 in terms of daytime shots. The dynamic range is also slightly better, but it is not a huge difference compared to the F3. So better pictures, but not a huge difference. Now moving on, let's talk a little bit about that ultra wide. So I took a couple of shots here as well. Although they carry the same 8 megapixel ultra wide sensor, I noticed that on certain occasions, the F4 actually did better in terms of brightening the image. I believe there is sort of a different algorithm going on with the F4 here, so that's why you see more consistently brighter images on the F4. However, when we move to the night images, guys, this is where it gets a little bit more different. So in terms of the night images here, the F4 again is consistently able to produce slightly brighter images compared to the F3. It also has better noise control, so overall it's just a better night image being taken on the F4 here. Now, one thing worth pointing out here is that with the OIS on board the F4, it made it so much easier to get a crispier shot at night because it's just much more stable compared to the F3. I'm going to show you a very quick clip side by side so you can understand like how the OIS actually helps to create a more stable image. So definitely the OIS is helping out the F4 here to get those more stable, clearer images. Alright, so let's talk a little bit about video now. So video-wise, the POCO F4 also now supports 4K at 60 FPS, whereas on the F3 it was only 4K at 30 FPS. However, if you're thinking like, look, we have OIS now, the video is going to be great on the F4, well, this is where I myself was wrong. Okay, let me put a side by side here. 4K at 60 FPS for the POCO F4 and 4K 30 FPS for the POCO F3. Now you can see that of course you are getting more detailed kind of video coming from the POCO F4, but in terms of stabilization, the OIS does not work at 4K at 60 FPS. So although we have that very clear detailed kind of video going on, but the jitter is just so bad, guys. So I won't really shoot at 4K at 60 FPS. Now, putting both devices here at 4K 30 FPS, I noticed that the outcome was actually quite similar. There's not a huge difference there. But the main difference that the F4 has is that it now has the ultra steady mode. And unfortunately, you're only able to capture 1080p at 30 FPS at that ultra steady mode. So, alright, bottom line is for video taking, I would say that it is a slight improvement here, but with the OIS, you are only able to use the ultra steady mode, at 30 FPS, which doesn't make sense at all. Alright, so now done talking about the cameras, the second change here is actually in terms of the charging speeds. Now, while both devices here have approximately 4500 mAh batteries, however, the charging speeds is way different here. On the F3, it used to only be 33 watts, but on the F4, it has been boosted to 67 watts. Now, what this means is that for the POCO F3, it actually took 52 minutes to charge from 0 to 100%, but on the F4, that time has been significantly reduced to just 38 minutes. Now, honestly speaking, a lot of you guys might oversee this, but me personally, I find that charging speeds is very important for me because I do not have battery anxiety. Whenever I feel like I'm going to run out of juice, I know that I can charge up my phone very quickly, and that 67 watt fast charge is definitely very much appreciated on the POCO F4. Now, moving on to the final change here, the main change here is that in terms of the design. Obviously, you can see from the devices here that they look very different. On the POCO F3, it was this very slim kind of feel. It's actually slightly curved at the back here, whereas the frames are very thin. On the POCO F4, it's a very different story. It has become more boxier. You can see that we have a flat back panel. We have slightly flat sides here, not exactly flat, but overall, it is actually 0.1 millimeters thinner than the F3. Now, notice that I say thinner, but in actual fact, it feels thicker because the frame is thicker than the one of the F3. Anyways, I would say that in terms of design alone, I would say that the POCO F4's design looks more mature, it's a bit more minimalist, and I think it actually kind of grew on me, although I did hope that it was slightly slimmer. Anyway, I think design is subjective, but do let me know down in the comment section below which kind of design do you prefer. Do you prefer the one like the POCO F3 or do you prefer the POCO F4's design? Let me know down in the comment section below. Alright, that's pretty much what I can compare in terms of the F4 to the F3. Overall, what do I think of the POCO F4? Well, again, like I said, I've been using it for about a week now, and my experience from this is actually very similar to that of the POCO F3. Now, it also comes with a great display and great processor, slightly improved cameras, and you also have that faster charging speed and that brand new design. However, is it really worth that additional price point? Well, I would say that if you are already using the POCO F3, you obviously do not need to upgrade to the POCO F4. However, if you are in the market looking for something around the price of 1,500 ringgit, I would say that the POCO F4 here is still a very strong contender and something that you should actually check out. Apart from that, I must also say that the X4 GT here actually has the Dimensity 8100 processor. So if you really want that, you can check out the X4 GT. But if you want something a little bit more stable, you want the Snapdragon processor, I would say that the POCO F4 here is still a great option for you to consider. I did wish the price did not go up so high, but you know, these days everything is just increasing in price. Alright guys, that's it for my very quick review and comparison. If you have any further questions or if there is something that you want me to test out, feel free to leave a comment down in the comment section below. Of course, again, if you like this video, don't forget to drop a like and sub to the channel. Thank you for staying all the way to the end, and I hope to see all of you guys in the next one. Stay safe everybody. Bye!